Welcome to yet another podcast for Vajiram Ravi. Today we are joined by SIDAQ Singh, who has secured All India Rank 157 in the Civil Services Examination 2024. SIDAQ has achieved this rank in his sixth attempt, that was his last attempt. So for all these years, SIDAQ has kept his resilience. So before starting the podcast formally, I would like to narrate one story. I was yesterday there in modern school ECNCR, and there I narrated one story of a virus. The virus's name is Leucochloridium paradoxum. Now what this virus does is that the virus's main destination is to reach a bird, the bird's gut, where it reproduces. So to get to the bird's gut, the virus uses a snail. It infects the ocular tentacles of the snail, and then this snail, what happens to this snail is that it becomes a kind of a zombie. It goes into the path of the bird, where the birds actually pass through. So the birds get attracted by this manipulated tentacle, and the birds eat this snail, where the virus is there. So the virus is actually making this snail commit suicide. So in this story, what is happening is that how can we say that the virus was more intelligent than this snail? The only conclusion which we can draw is if I mix Arthur Schopenhauer and Charles Darwin, then I can say that the virus's will to survive was much more compared to the snail. So it's not about only intelligence, it's about your will to survive. And that is how I find a relevance in SIDAQ Singh's story, his will to survive all those years, or will to hold on to all those years. I hope, SIDAQ, I made a relevance here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So please tell me the story.
So if I start from my graduation days, then I did my graduation from BE Honours Political Science from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. And post my graduation, I started preparing for UPSC. And I did my foundation course from Vajiram Ravi, 2017-2018. I gave my first attempt in 2018, was able to clear prelims, but was not able to clear mains. In the second attempt, again, same thing happened. Cleared prelims, wasn't able to clear mains. And in my third attempt, I was able to reach up to the interview stage, but missed the final cutoff by around 20 marks. And in my fourth attempt, unfortunately, I was not able to clear the hurdle of prelims. So that's the only time in this long journey when I was not able to get through the prelim stage. And then in the fifth stage again, I reached to the interview stage, fifth attempt, and I missed the final cutoff by 9 marks that year, and the reserve list by 2 marks. And with the grace of Almighty, today I sit here with my sixth attempt, rank 157.
Very good. The point I was stressing in my introduction was that the will to survive, will to hold on till the very last stage. Sometimes what happens is, we are dropped into a tunnel. When we start preparation, we are just dropped into a tunnel. And the tunnel, there is a light on the other side. Some people cross this tunnel in the very first attempt. Some take 2 years, some take 3 years. But the virtue comes in holding up. So I just want to know that what happened during all these years, so that which kept you motivated.
So there were occasions when I felt disappointed and depressed because of the results. But fortunately, I had the complete support of my family, my grandparents, parents, brother, the relatives, my bhua, and the friends as well. So there were always a lot of people who were rooting for me, and they showed courage in me at a time when probably my confidence in my own self, my self-confidence was shaken. So that's number one. Secondly, I was able to see incremental progress in this journey. So that is something which probably told me that I'm heading in the right direction. Probably I now feel that a lot of things I could have done differently. For example, I did not go for mentorship from a good mentor in my initial attempts. It was only in my fifth attempt that I went to a mentor. So that made a lot of changes to my preparation, especially in my fifth attempt. So yes, there are a lot of mistakes that I did, sir, but the support of my family and the perseverance that I showed, I think those are the things which made me hang on.
So was the thought that this is my last attempt, means in quote, the thought that this is my last attempt, did it play some role?
Yes, sir. There was an added pressure. I did stress this time since this was my last attempt. But I think, sir, I was able to stay calm. I made the conscious decision to stay calm, because when we are very anxious or we begin to doubt our capabilities, that is something which goes in the subconscious mind. And during the examination hall, when anxiety takes better of you, then that subconscious mind comes into play, and I think that hampers or damages your prospects. So I tried to remain calm. It was a bit difficult to stay so, but again, I think I managed to do that.
Good. So tell me something about your optional. Your optional means you did not change your optional throughout these 6 years. And you appeared for interview for 3 times in those 6 years. So what was your score in optionals?
So the score in optionals varied from 253 to early 270s. This year my score is 268. So last year again, the score in optional was not that great. It was 253 if I remember correctly. So this time I did put in more efforts in optional. The score does show an increment of 15 marks. Though honestly I was expecting a bit better score than that, but still I'm happy with whatever I've got.
And your option was PSIR, Political Science and International Relations.
Yeah, it stayed the same throughout the journey.
Okay. So did you go for any formal coaching for the subject?
Yes, I took coaching from Vajiram.
So what was your approach to finish paper 1 and paper 2?
Sir, the approach this year was, when it comes to paper 1, the approach was to draw a lot of interconnections between different concepts. For example, linking equality with rights with justice, or the concepts of part A with that of part B. So in-depth study of concepts, trying to draw more interlinkages and adding more weight to the answers by connecting them to the current affairs. This was largely my approach, because the base was already there since I was into preparation for a very long time. So these are the few things which I tried to do differently, and I wrote a lot of answers this time. Probably that is something which also helped me.
Okay, so in options what I can see is your score was pretty good in the last attempts.
In the last attempt, sir, it was not that great, 253.
Okay.
That is something which I think pulled me back as well from getting into the final list. But this time I think it is a decent score. Not that great.
Okay, but in the first attempt you got around 270.
Yeah, it was in excess of 270.
270. Okay,
Yes.
so you must have pulled your score in some other papers this time.
Yes, sir. A lot of increment in marks came from the ethics paper. Last year it was 99. This year it is 121.
Great.
So an increment of 22 marks came from the ethics paper. In interview, there is an increment of 11 marks.
Let's just stay with the ethics. What was the approach? You made an increment of 22 marks. So tell us what differences did you do?
So there are a lot of things which I did differently when it comes to ethics. The first one is I tried to focus more on the demand of the question. I broke the demand of the question into different subparts, 2 or 3. That is one thing which I did. Secondly, I focused a lot on value addition. This year what I did, I prepared certain themes which I felt are often repeated in the examination. For example, corruption, leadership. They find a mention either in the theory part or in the case study part. So I knew if there is a question on corruption, I'm going to start with a certain introduction. I had it prepared. Then I knew that I'm going to link it with certain other concepts. For example, I'm going to link that with Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative, or to the concept of Bhagavad Gita, which says desire, anger and greed are gateways to hell. So if you're corrupt, or the religious scriptures are also against corruption. So these are certain things which I did. And when it comes to the case studies, when we give the course of action, I tried to bring every stakeholder in while writing the course of action. So I think that makes the answer look a bit more extensive, which addresses the demand of the question in a better manner. And when it comes to the conclusion, there as well, sir, I tried to add some value addition by bringing in either certain case studies or quotes or examples. So the focus was more on value addition part this time.
Okay, so in the section 1 of the paper 4, you added more theories.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which you were not doing earlier.
Yes, I was not doing that earlier. Okay. For example, I actually interlinked the concepts of PSIR with ethics as well. I remember there was something about misinformation this year, and I linked that to Plato's allegory of caves. So I used to brainstorm a lot that how during the practice days that how different concepts can be interlinked. So I think this does convey to the examiner that the candidate has certain depth when it comes to addressing the answers.
It was very ingenious. Means using Plato's allegory of caves to misinformation. Okay. So now come to the interview. You in your last 6 attempts you appeared for interview thrice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was your score, and tell us about your interview preparation?
Sir, when I appeared for the interview for the first time, it was 179. The second time it was 182, and this year it is 193.
Okay.
And when it comes to the interview preparation, sir, this time again, I focused a lot in ensuring that when it comes to the topics which are in news, I'm able to do their analysis well, because it conveys to the person who is on the other side of the table that the candidate has read the things, has analyzed the things, and is aware about the facts and the associated information along with. Secondly, sir, I try to ensure that I am able to address the demand of the question which the interview has asked with confidence. And thirdly is integrity, sir. If I do not know the answer to a certain question, I used to convey to the interviewer directly that I'm sorry, I'm unaware about this. So I think instead of beating around the bush or trying to make a guess, it is better to say that I do not have complete information about this. So these are the things, sir.
Honestly admitting your limitations.
Yes.
Okay. And you were part of the IGP program of Vajiram.
Yes, sir. I was part of the IGP during all these three attempts. Yeah.
So tell me how Vajiram helped.
Sir, one-to-one sessions with Ravindran sir, they helped a lot. I think through these sessions, not only did I get a lot of insights on my DAF, but sir also gave a lot of information when it comes to the current events and the events associated with Punjab. So those sessions were not just informative, but they boosted my confidence as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it did help.
And I remember after your mock interview, we were discussing about some of the migration issues of Punjab.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about that. Did it help?
Yes, sir. It did help. I think the points that you told me, I still have that paper with me. I went through it, I think, a couple of times. So if there is somebody who is watching your interview and gives you further insights other than the ones which already the panel gave, so it did add to your preparation, sir. And I thank you for that.
And then you finally meet Ravindran sir, who stayed there for all these three attempts. Okay. So you are part of Vajiram's GS Foundation course, you're part of Vajiram's optional course, and then you joined the Vajiram's IGP program.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you were also talking about the mentorship program. That in the last attempt, on the fifth attempt, you thought of choosing mentorship as something which can just help you.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about these mentorship programs. How does this help?
So, sir, during my fifth attempt, I took mentorship, and his approach when it comes to answer writing, that helped me a lot. And what I felt is that when you are communicating with the people who are very much experienced and are aware about the process, at times a virtuous cycle kicks in, because you learn something from them, then your curiosity increases, you read the topper copies again, and you learn a lot of things from them, which probably you did not learn the previous time when you read them. So I think once I started taking mentorship from him, he gave the toolkit for different themes, for society, for economy, agriculture. Those things helped me a lot in writing good introductions, and they provided me a framework while addressing the body portion as well. And he told me that how I can make the conclusion look a bit different. For example, when it comes to polity, he told me that when it comes to the normative concepts of polity, say rule of law, constitutional morality, or justice, rights, that I should link them to the ideals of preamble or link them to the fundamental rights, DPSPs. When it comes to the social justice or governance part, link them to SDGs. So when you have a certain framework in mind, I think you're able to write impactful introduction and conclusions within relatively lesser amount of time, because you do not have to think much now, and you have been doing this during the days of practice. So these are small things, sir, but I think put together they do make a lot of difference.
Okay. Did it make any difference in the marks you scored in GS paper 1 and GS paper 2?
Yes, sir. If I compare my attempt in my fourth attempt with that of fifth attempt, there was a sea change, especially when it comes to my GS2 score. I think I was getting in 90s, and then it increased to 114. So those things do help. This year, I took mentorship, and he told me a lot of things with regard to ethics. So I think his contribution is also significant in helping me improve my marks. So mentorship does help. That's the point.
Okay. So SIDAQ, what we will discuss is, as we were discussing earlier, that if you stay for so long, that there are a lot of pressures which you face. For example, pressures from the relative. Okay. Sometimes the pressure is from the family also. So did you feel any pressure?
Sir, I was very fortunate when it comes to all these things. My family was very supportive. Had they not been there, probably I would not have been able to stay on this long. And when it comes to relatives, again, sir, majority of my relatives, they were also a source of encouragement for me. And they were actually rooting for me throughout this journey. So that actually helped me pull up my confidence during the times when my self-confidence was low. So they added to my preparation, sir, or they added to my confidence.
The reason why I broached this subject, I met a candidate who told me that he hasn't visited his relatives for the last 5 years.
Okay.
And the following year is going to be his last attempt. So I told him that just go and visit all your relatives, tell them that you have exhausted all your attempts, you are no more preparing for the civil services, and come back and write your final attempt. Okay. So you are fortunate that you didn't have to go through all those processes. Even he is not going through all those processes. But what happens is sometimes you just can't face the people. Okay, when you go through so many ups and downs.
Sir, I think at times we do create a mental barrier for ourselves.
Okay.
The external situation is not that bad, but we think that it is that bad. So yes, these
Hope
things.
he's listening. Okay. So any advice which you would like to give to candidates, especially those who means in the meantime just they think that okay, this is not for them. So what would you suggest them?
Sir, I think keep working hard. There is actually no substitute to hard work. We do say that in this journey, smart work probably helps. It is important to be smart, but again, it cannot substitute hard work. Keep working hard. Have confidence in yourself, and do stay calm as well. Because staying calm, sir, during the exam days, or just prior to the exam and during those 2 hours during prelims and those 3 hours during mains, it is very important. Because if we do not stay calm, will not be in a position to mark the things correct which we already have information or knowledge about. Now, since prelims is just around the corner, I like to give certain examples. There were a couple of questions that actually do come to my mind. There was one question related to membrane. There was a term, a 2-word term, and something which I was not aware about that term, but I knew that if it is membrane, it must be something to do with filtration. One of the options was, I think, wastewater treatment. I marked that and it went correct. So, but if the mind is clouded or we are anxious at that point of time, will not be in a position to give that deep thought and connect different things. So staying calm is very important. There was another question, I think just above that, and the question itself had the word storage in it. And we had to tell that this term refers to what. The answer also had word energy storage. I had no clue about what the term is, but again, if there is presence of mind, you are focused in that very moment, the things, your calmness does help you get things correct. So hard work, not giving up, staying calm, this would be my advice to the candidates, sir.
Okay, very fine. Now tell me some of your experiences, life experiences before you started preparing for this civil services.
So before I started preparing, so I'll have to go back to 2017. So as far as, sir, my life prior to that is concerned, sir, I've been a good student throughout my school days and university days. So I like to study during all this journey of mine, the academic journey of mine. And other than this, sir, my hobbies, they included playing the games of cricket, badminton, and the other thing which I enjoyed back then and now as well as making friends with new people. So that's another thing which I like.
Okay. So 6 attempts, 3 interviews, and now IPS. How do you see the future ahead?
Sir, I like to become a person who is able to make significant and meaningful contribution to the lives of people, because I feel that that is actually the source of self-satisfaction for me. That is something which I will strive for, and I hope that I have so much of strength and I am trained well to become that kind of officer. I hope that happens.
Okay, but strength is not enough. To just give you an example from Niccolo Machiavelli, he says that the lions are strong, but they cannot escape the traps. Similarly, the fox are very clever, but they cannot, means they are attacked by the wolves. Okay, so you have to be sometimes like lions who can means attack wolves, and sometimes you have to be fox who can avoid the traps. So strong enough to destroy like lions and clever enough like the fox to avoid the traps.
I hope, sir, the training prepares me for that.
Okay, it will.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best, SIDAQ, and I wish you all the success in your journey ahead.
Thank you, sir.
You have a remarkable story.
Thank you.